Okay, I'm here. Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, just type in the text box. Okay, can anybody hear me? Oh, okay, there we go. I see people responding now. It's getting concerned. Good morning. I guess I'm 12 minutes behind schedule, so I do apologize for that. I had it at 10 a.m. my time. So, but we can get started. We won't waste much of your time today. Yep, good to see Melissa, and some of you folks have different names in there. Kim, okay. Brandy, hey, good afternoon. I look forward to seeing you guys all next week for sure. Let me go ahead and get this up here for you so we can get started. What we want to work on today is just a couple of things here so that we're able to get our delegation skills in place before we start class. Not our skills, but some basic information going. So I have, yes, with an echo. You hear me with an echo. I can see on one screen your messages. Does everybody else have an echo as well? Melissa, you should know better than saying sir. I can excuse some of you for calling me sir, but okay. Okay, Cindy is the only one with an echo, I think. So I don't see anybody else responding like that. Echo still? Okay, so Melissa does not. Echo still. Okay, no, I can hear you fine. Okay. Cindy, I hope you can kind of get through it a little bit. I apologize for your echo, but it looks like everybody else is okay. Yeah, Melissa says, I forgot. Okay, great. So, delegation skills for development. Just a couple quick things. When I get to next week, I'm excited to see you guys again. So next week we'll really dive into this over those couple days, day and a half, to make sure that you are in a spot where you feel comfortable delegating skills and delegating things to different people. Here's what I know I used to say all the time. I like things to be done my way, but by somebody else. Do it my way, but by somebody else. I just kind of enjoy that thought. So I thought I'd share that with you because it's some of the challenge of being a leader. It's delegating things and realizing that that last 20% that that person learns a skill set that basically means that they're going to end up doing it a little bit better than us, a little bit different than us. And we have to kind of get used to that idea. So let's be honest. Let's talk about the pain of delegation. There are some pains with that, some things we have to be aware of. We're going to run through some of our pains, some of the things we got to look for. Then I have asked Betsy to give you a sheet, two sheets that we need to have filled out before we start our class. This will help us get through our class a lot faster and easier. So let's go ahead and deal with the pain of delegation. Okay. How many of you are in the point of believing you do not have enough time to delegate? Some of us are so busy, we just don't have the time to delegate. So we get stuck there and we just feel like we just can't make it happen. So we believe we don't have enough time for that. And when that's the case, we are not quite seeing the full picture. We also have this thing about fear of losing control. And to be honest, when it comes to delegation, if you're doing it right, if you're bringing the people up right with this, you are going to lose control over that process because as they get that last 20% going, they're going to find ways to do it better than what you have been doing it. And as we discussed in class last time, when that happens, you need to pat yourself on the back because you not only develop that person, but you develop the team, you develop the company, you develop the community. So allow that feeling of losing control to take place and be fine with it. That's not going to be that big of an issue. Now, here's an issue that we just need to scrap because I know your leadership here. Fear of not getting credit. You're going to get all the credit you need, but that's a true fear that a lot of us have that, hey, I did all this work to get everything going, and there's a fear of me not getting enough credit for this, or me, of the other person getting credit for all this. So that's will always kind of be an issue. Fear of losing the task that you enjoy. Okay, that could be a very real fear as well, because you may have to give that away to people, and the things that you enjoy doing, you may give that away. And if you have to give that away, that's kind of okay, because you might find other things you like to do better. And maybe that other thing is the number one job, developing your people. Thinking that you can do the task better, right? Well, yes, you have to be aware of that you can do the task better than that other person. You can do the task better at the start. You have to release that amount of control. That's the pain zone. Fear of delegating yourself out of your job. Now, you there at Met, you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to delegate yourself out of that job. You can delegate yourself into the next position. So that's not a fear, or not a real fear for you. Lack of confidence in your teammates. That is a real fear. Do you really have the confidence in your teammates to decide that they can take on this process? They can handle the issues, handle the things. Do you really have that confidence in them? Well, that's where we're going to work on before class starts, so you can start getting a true picture of what your teammates can do. Okay? More pain of delegation. Believing that they do not have enough time. So now we're looking at the other side. We believe that oftentimes the people that we're working with, they don't have the time to work with us. They don't have the time to handle that delegation. Believing that they do not have enough experience to do this. Okay, and that could very well be true. They don't have the experience yet. You, as a person who's delegating, you're going to have that experience, and you're going to give them that experience. Now, on my end of the computer, I don't know if this is the case for you. I'm getting where it's spinning, like it can't find the connection. Is everybody else fine? I'll wait for you to type something in the chat box. Is everybody else doing okay with that? Okay, chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. All right, so chat slightly disconnected from my end of it. It might just be that I'm trying to use too much bandwidth. I actually have two computers up doing this, so it might be that. So for the moment, we'll continue to go on and think it might just be me. So it should have on your screen fear of failure. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. Everything's good, 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 good. Okay. All right. So the third on this screen is a fear of failure. We just have a fear that we're going to fail, or that they're going to fail doing the assignment. So the first set of pains were pretty much what you feel about your own. And now this is talking about what we feel about our team. We fear that they're going to fail in the assignment sometimes. The other issue that we have sometimes is believing the job is not their responsibility. If I delegate something to somebody, they may believe that that's not my responsibility. That's not my job. That's your job. And they might be thinking that. And this is where you're going to use the 5 W's to create some clarity with them. And so they understand that it is part of their jobs. Like we discussed in our leadership training, we're no longer allowed to say, that's not my job. And neither will your team be able to do that once we get some clear pictures going here. Okay. Fear of being the scapegoat. Okay. They're afraid that you're going to blame them if something doesn't go right. Okay. And that becomes a trust issue. That is a trust issue there. And once we hit that trust issue with people, that's going to be part of the challenge that we have. Do they trust you? Okay, and if they don't trust you, they are going to be fearful that you're going to try to blame them for something and make them out to be the bad guys here. That will happen. Okay, and then fear of negative reactions from other teammates. You know, that person's kissing up to the boss. They're getting all the special things, and they're teachers' pets. You're fearing that if I give this person an assignment, the rest of the team is going to respond negatively to them. Those are things that we have to kind of deal with. But we also have to deal with some company-wide issues. Are you fearful that there's a lack of resources to actually do this? Okay, is there a fear that there's a lack of resources there? Okay, and the lack of structure and blurred lines of authority. So those are company things. Do you have the lack of structure? Is there blurred lines of authority? So if you assign something to somebody, are you going to get blamed for that, or because maybe you stepped out of bounds? We got to work with all those fears and make all those fears come together for us. So let's quickly talk about what we can and cannot delegate. Okay. And let me just take a look at something real quick here. See what's taking place here. 50 minutes fully charged. Okay. What you can delegate for sure is a routine task. Routine tasks. You can delegate those without a problem, and you should make sure you get in the habit of delegating those without a problem. Okay? The things in a routine. Something else you can delegate is the interesting task. You should always be delegating something that's interesting, that's going to allow people to develop and get to growing. Tasks others could do better. Yeah, well, guess what? There are some tasks that other folks can do better than what we're doing. Okay, there's some folks out there like that, and we have to be aware of that and make sure that that happens. Okay, make sure that we can take care of that issue for them. Okay, tasks others might enjoy. Delegate tasks that other folks might enjoy doing. Think about it for a second. You have a meeting to go to, and maybe every so often someone else might enjoy going to that meeting to get an inside view, and maybe your schedule's so full that particular time that you can't go. And so maybe you want to delegate them to go, delegate them to take the notes and come back to you and bring you up to speed. They may enjoy that. I think the next point I want to bring to your attention is the critical one for development. Okay, task for development. You want to delegate things that will create development. Okay, and I should also let you know right now that I have completely lost the screen that shows your chat messages in there, trying to get that back up. But we'll step out of the PowerPoint here in just a moment and we'll discuss some of these things, and then I will be able to chat with you again here as soon as we step out of that. Okay, the whole task. What you can do, delegate it is people, and you got to give them the entire whole task. Okay, you give them that whole task. Okay, and you also can delegate time-consuming tasks. This is all basic. We kind of covered this last time we were together when we did a real high-level view of delegation. Okay, and tasks that you can delegate are ones that you're not responsible for. You're not responsible for. So let's do this for a quick second. Let's step out here. You can get to see me in a second here, I think. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. All right. Okay, chatting. Any thoughts on the chatting so far? I didn't spell that right. Anybody wants to chat, they can throw something in there for us. I'm trying to make that work. Okay, chats. Okay. Okay, it's a little bit scary. No one's responding, so I'm wondering if. And. Okay. I am concerned about this right now. I'm not seeing any response to chats. Okay, it's starting to catch up here. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna give it just a second to see if it catches up with itself. It says it's about 30 seconds behind. We'll find out. Okay, you should be seeing me, but I'm not seeing any chat responses at all right now. Saying chats are not available. Does anybody have a microphone that's on? Betsy, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm going to send you a quick email to see if you still have me. I don't have chat messages up anymore. Okay, hopefully Betsy will get that message there. Let me look here. It says the network change was detected. Still showing live and going here, but no chats. I don't know if I have everybody or not. We're just about halfway finished. It says 19 watching though. So here's what I'm going to suggest we do is I'm going to continue. It's going to be recorded and you're going to, maybe I can edit that long pause out. It's all going to be recorded. So if you're not getting me, let me check again to see if Betsy's replied to the mail yet. There's 3. We can hear you. We're all good and we can see the chat screen. Okay, we're here and we can hear you. Our chatting is still going, but okay. Your chatting is still going, but mine's not. That's sad. Okay. All right. So now you should be able to see me, but we're going to go back now and go back into the PowerPoint presentation. And then we'll come back and hopefully my chat will catch up or can answer some questions for us here. Okay, so let's jump back into the PowerPoint. Okay, so we finished up with what you should delegate. Again, this is just kind of a refresh of what we covered when we were together last time, but what you should not delegate. You should absolutely not delegate boring tasks. Okay, and I know it's your temptation, it's my temptation. Anything that bores me, I want to delegate it. And sometimes I use the excuse of saying that I want to delegate it because if I give it to them, it'll develop them. Well, if that's true, then the boring task is taken out. If it's going to develop your folks, then you can go ahead and task that. However, anytime you have a crisis, anytime there's a crisis, you cannot delegate the handling of that crisis. Ill-defined task, ill-defined task. If you do not have your 5 W's in place, you cannot define that task. We'll go to work on that really hard when we get together. Of course, you cannot delegate confidential matters. You cannot delegate praise or reprimands. You just can't do it. And you cannot delegate planning of development for your team, planning of development for your team. Now, there is a small caveat with that. So let me drop that as a teaser for you. I'll give you that caveat to that when we get together next week. You cannot delegate tasks that you are responsible for. So Stacy comes in and say, I need for you to do this. You need to do that. Okay. Anything that you're responsible for, you cannot delegate that. Okay. Let's always begin with habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. We're going to work that and work that pretty hard over the next couple of days. Okay. What is the objective of your group? Okay. The group of people you work with, the program you're in, the people who report to you, what is the objective of that group? What's your duties? Okay. What are you trying to accomplish every day? And we've got to look at that from 2 angles. Outside of the group, so what needs to be accomplished for the people outside of the group. Okay. So let's say you're working developing teachers and your job is to develop the curriculum. Well, outside of developing the curriculum, people need to be able to see, here's a curriculum that I can learn from, I can study from, I can get better at. That's outside of it. Then on the inside of the group, what does your group need to do inside to feel accomplishment, to be accomplished? These things you have to have in mind. Okay, and this must be started before you begin the program. So, first homework assignment. If you have a piece of paper and pencil, What is the objective of your groups? What's the objective outside of the group? The people who you service, what's the objective when it comes to them? Inside your group, what's the objective inside the group? 1 or 2 sentences for each one of those. Okay, outside the group, inside the group. That's your first line of homework. To have that ready by time. I think we meet a week from Monday. Okay, or a week from Tuesday. Excuse me. Okay, is this profitable? Okay, does it make sense as far as the cost is concerned? Now we're looking at weird numbers. You get paid $100 an hour. Okay, and the task you're doing, you can have someone else do it for $25 an hour. That makes sense. You get paid $100 an hour, but the task that you're doing, by the time you get everybody else involved to do it, costs $125 an hour to do it. That doesn't make sense to take that and delegate that process. If it makes sense for you to do this for a cost angle. So whatever task you choose to work on, that's going to be one of the questions you're going to ask. The task that you choose to work on, is it profitable for the company? Does it make financial sense? Okay. With the task that you're delegating, what is the goal? What is the target? What is it that you want to achieve? Okay. Your 5 W's will help clarify that. That's why the 5 W's are so important. That's why we'll spend a lot of time on those next week. The 5 W's. Okay. How do you measure your success? How do you know that it's completed properly? How do you know that you reached your KPIs, your key performance indicators? How do you know? This must be defined before you begin to assign the task. Okay, it must be defined. Okay. These are things you got to look at as an agreement. Do we agree with what's going on? Okay. There's an agreement there. Okay. Accountability. You're still accountable for this. What is your level of accountability, and what is the level of accountability of the tasks of the person that you delegated the task to? Excuse me. What is your level of accountability to the person that you delegated the task to? Okay. Appraisal. How are you going to appraise the success or the level of success? Okay. Appreciation. Make sure you're showing appreciation. Make sure that's taking place. Make sure you have leadership support, which you do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this right now, right? You got to be able to start looking at your people and assess their will and skill, their communication type, and their learning styles. These people, everybody on your team, you need to assess this level, and you need to have this, and you need to have it where you can actually call it forward. List of items to delegate during class. So now if you're in the class, you don't really have anything to delegate yet, I want you to delegate these 2 items, research and data entry. Project that you need to research and a project you need to just requires data entry. Those are your 2. The rest of you who have items that you're looking at to delegating, you need a list of those before class starts. Okay, so let's say you're looking to delegate a meeting, you're looking to delegate a report, you're looking to whatever those are, you need to have those listed. Okay, you need to have those answers for those first set of questions. Okay, if you do not have something that you're ready to delegate right now, or you don't have people who report to you, or people who are on your program, your team, you can't delegate to them right now, then you need to set up a research project and a data entry project. Okay, we'll come back to that here in a moment. Okay, so a research project and a data entry project for them. Okay, all righty. Let's stop sharing for a second. I want to go over the forms here real quick. These forms are must-have forms for the class. Okay. These are all forms that we need to have. So let's go ahead and take a look at those real quick. Okay. Here's a part of your homework assignment, in other words. Learn your team before delegating. So this is a Word document, and it lays out the 4 different personality types. Each member of your team, you need to go ahead and slot them into the proper personality type. Now, the way we're doing this, we're looking at them. For example, we talked about this in class, but let's go ahead and get it concrete now. A relator. Okay, there's their communication style. They're perceived as, their strengths and the weaknesses. It's important that we take an inventory right now of every member of your team, and I would like to have you have this ready for your team. Okay. So, and then below that, below the definitions we have where it says the dominant primary style of your team. So I put in here for Glenn, example. Most of the time, he's a socializer, loves to talk, loves to hang out with people. Some of the time, he's a commander, though. Most of the time, I'm this way. Sometimes I'm that way. We want to start recognizing these styles because when it comes time to delegate a task or delegate a process to somebody, if we recognize their communication style, we have a much stronger chance to make sure that that goes smoothly. So if you need more spaces, go ahead and just add more spaces to this, but this should be done and completed before class starts. This is so key in the communication process. Okay, so again, look at all 4 styles. Take each person, put each person's name in the box below, look at all 4 styles and decide, okay, that person there, they are pretty much a socializer. They're very expressive, very animated, okay, receptive to people. They share their personal feelings. Yeah, they do ignore their follow-ups. Okay, ask my VA about that one. Focus too much on relationships. Okay, impatient. Okay, and when they get pressured, they attack. Okay, that's me. Okay, or maybe it's Johnny Good, do good on your team. Okay, that's them. So you want to go ahead and take a look and just lay that out for each person in the box below. Okay, the dominant primary style for your team. Each team member needs to go in that box. Each team member. Okay, so make sure you have that in place. That's homework before we get together. And then let's go to the spreadsheet here. Need for you to take a look at your team. And at least one person. It'd be best if you could do your whole team. You have to do separate spreadsheets for your whole team. But it'd be best if you could do one person for the class. Okay, but at least one person for the class with one item you're going to delegate to them. So their name goes on the top of the line. Okay, one sheet per employee. Okay, what's the task title? Give your task a title. Okay, and then we got to look at their hard skills. Okay, score the hard skills from 1 to 10. Now, sometimes some of these hard skills are not needed for the task. So if they're not needed for the task, you don't put a score in there. You just put a little check mark and not needed for the task. Let's walk through this one in a little bit of detail. Acknowledge a foreign language. I'm sorry, acknowledge. They have a knowledge of a foreign language. Okay? Maybe they are very fluent in Spanish. Maybe they're not. Whatever level that is. Okay? A degree or certificate on a certain field of study. Okay, maybe they have their degree, MBA in accounting. Okay, that's great. Do they have the ability to type? So just go through 1 through 15 and score them. Reason why we're scoring them is because you may want to delegate this to someone else, but as you go through the next employee, they actually score higher. So maybe that's who you give it to. Okay. Soft skills are a little more subjective, but equally as important. The ability to communicate effectively with other people. The ability to be adaptable. Tell you the truth on these soft skills, what we're looking for is someone that will do the job, that has a high will. Okay? You're not always going to have high will people be delegated to because you got to spread it around, but you want to have a clear picture. This will give you a clear survey, a clear assessment of each member of your team. So please try to run each member of your team through this, but at the bare minimum, when we get together on Tuesday, one person, because we're going to workshop these. We have a day and a half of a lot of work to do. We're going to get this delegation skills down to the point where they're just perfect, and you're going to really like them a lot. You're going to say, let me get out there and let me delegate this. Let me get out there and let me delegate this. This is what we want to try to have happen, okay, as quickly as possible. Try to have that, get that to go as quickly as possible. Okay. Since I still have no chat box, I can't answer your questions right now. Although, let's do this. 720-767-1827. So again, 720-767-1827. I offer that phone number up. You can Give me a call anytime until we meet a week from Tuesday with any type of questions or anything that you want to get prepared for, get ready for, or actually anything to do with delegation or any other things. 720-767-1827. I hope that's okay, Betsy, but anybody, especially since I can't see chat right now, I see me in a dark room. I see myself, but I don't see chat. So 720-767-1827. Let me try refreshing the screen one more time to see if I can get the chat window up here. Okay, well, that might be working now. I'll check it out. Okay, good. Any questions? Because guess what? I see chat. Okay, so Betsy asked, and I'll just say it, if you're on, but if you can't chat, please send her an email so she knows that you attended. I see I have 22 people. Betsy says, yay. So questions or concerns, make sure, again, that you have that pre-delegation homework set up. Again, let me just go and put it in here, 720-767-1827. Call me with any questions or concerns. Valerie, hi. So questions or concerns, I'll sit here for a few minutes and chat with anybody who has a chat on there. I think we just had trying to run too many computers at one time. I think that was a problem, but that we should be good now. Okay. Hanging out, 720-767-1827 for calls. Online now seems to be chatting just fine. Waiting to see if okay, we are meeting on September 25th for the day and then 26th in the morning in the Cleveland training room. Cleveland. I thought I was going to Texas. Only kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, let's rename that training room for that day from the Cleveland to the Denver training room. Shall we do that? I guess not. Okay. Yes, it is Tuesday and Wednesday. So, see, Melissa likes my jokes. She's about the only one. Okay, so did everybody get the pre-class works? Don't want to call it homework, but then everybody get that and able to fill that out. The spreadsheet is active and live, so if you need to you can print off one or copy one for everybody. Okay, the example for the task on the spreadsheet, that's an assessment of your team. So that's not a necessarily task, but if let's say you do have a task that you want to give somebody on the team, we want to have at least one real task ready. What's one real task that you have to do that you want to give? Okay, so we want to have one real task ready for the people on your team. So I can't tell you what it's going to be because you're going to have to decide what it is for you and your team. So maybe it is a research project. Well, give it a name. Research grant proposals. Okay. Yeah, such as recruiting. Research recruiting trends or research recruiting behaviors. Okay. Whatever that is, that's the title. Okay. And then who you think might be able to handle it. And then assess them, both soft and hard skills. Again, if they don't have, if some of the hard skills don't apply, then you don't have to do that. Let me pull that back up for us real quick here. Okay, just a moment. Right here. Nope. It's one of these things here. Maybe I turned it off. Okay. Here, we'll let it show right here. So remember the top line here is hard skills. So some of these hard skills may not apply. Writing computer codes, I would bet that doesn't apply. So you just put a little X there to say that doesn't apply. Okay. So again, whatever you label the task. So recruiting. Okay. You want to do one sheet per employee. Okay. And that we can take a good look at it and see what's going on. Okay. Investigating the answers to a question. Okay, can they get those answers? Do they have that hard skill to do it? Copywriting, you may or may not have that. Okay, but when it comes to recruiting, I would bet you don't have to worry about coding. Bet you do. They do have to have the skill to teach, though. Okay, because they got to teach and sell what the company's all about. Do they already have a knowledge of marketing strategies to recruit properly? Okay. All right, so that's the hard skill part of that. Okay, and then again, you look at that particular employee that you think you'd like to give that to, and then assess their soft skills. Okay. See what the scores are, and make sure they're at the level that you want them to be. Okay, great question. Any other questions out there? Who is YROD3? Who is? Just put your first name in there for me, please. So I know. Okay, so, any other questions though? Oh, okay. Yami, how are you? Okay, so fantastic. All right, just gonna give you another moment or so to put any questions you may have in there. Okay, now again, I want to make sure that the offer is there. If you have any questions between now and a week from Tuesday when we start, you do have my number and you can disconnect. We can screen share whatever you have to do off of that, and we can just go to work. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Betsy, I think that will cover us. It wasn't supposed to be much more than 30 minutes. I think we just about extended past that. Betsy, anything else you need for me to cover? Thank you. You're more than welcome. I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday morning in the Denver room. No, not Buffalo. Thank you, everybody. And you're welcome. Weekends, what's that, Hannah?